Okay, hi, good day everyone. Today is the review of paper 2, number 6. So, the summary breakdown of, breakdown of paper 2, number 6, past paper questions. Now, the section that is being tested in this, let's just, right. The section that is being tested, the Um, what is being tested in this question? This question, the what is being tested is measurement, right? Measurement, which is inclusive of area, perimeter, and volume, right? Please note that they do give you a formula sheet, so some of these things, most of the formulas are given in your exam paper. Right now, when we look at perimeter, what you have to remember is it is your total distance around a region. So if I ask for your perimeter, you would start at point A, go right around, and end up back at point E. If you do not end up back at point A, that is not the perimeter. Okay? Volume is the area of the uniform cross section, I should say, of the uniform cross section multiplied by your height. So what you are looking at in these shapes is if I were to cut this this shape, would it be the same throughout? Right? If I were to cut it sideways, right? Oh yeah, if I were to cut it horizontally at any region, would I get the same shape? That's what they mean by uniform cross section. If we cut it lengthways and you are not getting the same shape, then you know for a fact that this is not your uniform cross section. Right? Oh, what else, boy? Um, yeah, that's about it. So let's go into the past papers. One of the past papers. Let me just first. This came out directly from a past paper. It is given for both paper 1, paper 2, as well as paper 3. It is your formula sheet. So, volume of a prism, volume of a cylinder. Right, let's look at volume of a cylinder. A cylinder, if you cut it, if we have a cylinder that looks like this, sorry about that, and I cut it like this, I'm going to get a circle throughout. If I cut it like this, it is going to be different, right? Excuse let's see if I can do that properly. If I were to have a cylinder that looks like this, and I cut it lengthways like this, I am going to get a circle throughout. So if you look at um, volume of a cylinder, this formula here is actually your area of a circle, pi r squared, and then I multiply it by the height of my cylinder. So you see what I just now said with my area of the uniform cross section, which would be in for cylinder area of a circle times your height, you will get it, right? There are some exceptions like the pyramid and such, but you'll see in the formula sheet they give you majority of it, right? Prism, cylinder, right pyramid, uh, right. Hi. Now, for your pyramid, there are different types of pyramid. The bases are usually different. A circular base pyramid is a cone, right? So area, also volume of a cone would be a third multiplied by the area of your circle multiplied by your height. If it's a square base pyramid, it would be a third multiplied area of a square times your height. If it's a rectangular base pyramid, a third multiplied by area of a rectangle multiplied by your height. It just depends on what type of pyramid it is. Circumference, they give you pi r squared, 2 pi r squared. No, no, sorry, that is area. Circumference is also known as your perimeter of your circle, or distance around your circle is 2 by pi by r. Pi is a constant. Sometimes the questions gives you that whatever pi is 3.142, or they might give you pi is 22 over 7. If they do not give you pi, you can say let pi be 22 over 7, the fraction format. Okay? I would not say decimal format because pi has countless or infinite numbers of after your decimal point. So I would say just use 22 over 7. Yeah? Length of an arc. This is it here. So if you look, length of an arc is the fraction multiplied by the circumference of your circle. So what fraction of the circle is the arc? Right? Area of a circle would be pi r squared. Area of your sector is what fraction of your circle. So it would be theta over 360 multiplied by area of your circle. Area of a trapezium is a half by a by plus b by height. A and b is your parallel sides. Parallel sides are sides that if you extend it will never meet, right? So it would be the summation of those two sides times your height, your perpendicular height, by a half, right? And then we have area of a triangle. They give you 1, 2, 3. Hold on, no, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. They give you 3 formulas, right? And then if you look, well, this is if you're using sine rule and cosine rule, they did give you the formulas for sine and cosine rule. So if you are one of those who are not, and that's fine, you're not very good at remembering formulas, your formula sheet is here to help you with number 6. Alright, so let's look at, this is January 2025. Let's look at it and see what is going on. A piece of wire 61 centimeters long is bent to form a sector shown in the diagram below. So they told you the sector, right? A piece of wire 61 centimeters long is bent to form a sector shown. So that piece of wire went, where is my, I'm going to use my highlighter so you guys could see. It was bent in this oh, I have to do it here. Right, so because they said the parameter, we're going the distance. So you're starting at P, going right around. Back to here. They're telling you that this is 61, right? Centimeters long. So I know if I want to find my distance from here to here, which is pretty easy, that is your length of your arc. So the length of arc, if you do not know, you can go back to your formula sheet. I know it, it's theta over 360 times the circumference of your circle, which is 2 pi r. Okay? They want to find what is x. So basically, they're trying to find you theta. So what I know is, first off, my length of my arc. I should do that here. Anyway, length of arc is going to be 61. Subtract the 2 radius. Let's subtract 18, subtract 18. Right? So that would be 61 minus, sorry, 61 subtract 18 is 25. So my length of my arc is 25 centimeters long. Everyone understands that? Celia, Natalia, and Sophia, and everyone who's here understands? Alright. So now we are going to use this formula to find out what is x or theta. So we know that 25, what is going on here? Right, 25 is equal to what is theta? We don't know what theta is. It's x over 360 multiplied by, they told you pi is 2 over 22 over 7, multiplied by 2 over 1, multiplied by pi, which is 22 over 7, multiplied by what is the radius of the circle, guys? 18 over 1. Alright, so what I would like to do is, I have a group of multiplication here, so I am going to multiply what I can multiply and then leave the x by itself. So I know that is 25 is equals to x over 360 multiplied by 44, that's 2 by 22 by 18, so that's 792 all over 7. So far so good with everyone? Now I want, again, when anytime you're making something the subject, we go backwards from Bud, mass. You go in this direction. Is there subtraction? No. Is there addition? No. Is there multiplication? Yes. So you're going to carry this across. When you carry something over the equal sign, it's opposite. So we have x over 360 would be 25 over 1 divided by 792 over 7. Alright? And then, is there division? Yes. You carry this across. So x would be 25 over 1 divided by 792 over 7 multiplied, sorry, 25, 25. Thank you. 25 over 1 multiplied by 360 over 1. Putting this in my calculator. 25 divided by 792 over 7 multiplied by 360. So the answer for this is, when you put it on your calculator, you'll get 79.545454. And if you approximate it, hold on, let me just get this. So when I do this on my calculator, I'm getting x is equals to 79.54545455. And I approximate this to the nearest. I put nearest whole number. 5 is more than 1, you add 1, so that's 79 plus 1, so x is equals to 80 degrees. And that would be your answer for this question. Do we see this? Are we understanding this? Or are we confused? Question says the area of your enclosed wire. We know that shape is a sector, so area of your sector would be theta over 360 times pi r squared, where theta is equals to 80 degrees from the answer above, pi is 22 over 7, and r is equals to, was it 18? Yeah, 18. Put that, that's 80 over 360 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by 18 squared. Put that in your formula, in your calculator. 80 over 360, so 80 ABC 360 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by 18 squared, and you will get an answer of, this is equals to 226, and 2 over 7 is this in centimeters? 1 second. Yeah, centimeters squared. If you don't want it as a fraction, 226.2857143, which is approximately 226.3 centimeters to 1 decimal place. Again, CXC standard is 1 decimal place, or 3 significant figures wherever is appropriate. Right? Do you understand this, guys? Okay. So you see, if you use your formula sheet so far, you would have been able to do part 1 and part 2. Let's do part B. calculate the length of an arc AB. So let's see what they told you. A cylindrical block of cheese. So a cylindrical block of cheese. So we have a cylinder here. Let's draw it out. We have a cylinder like this. Has a radius of 12. So from here to here is 12. Right? A height of 8. This is 8. And the cheese is divided into 8 equal slices. So they took a knife and cut it up into 8 equal slices. If I 1, 4, so this is a 8 equal slices. This is what happened. Alright? The uniform cross section of the slice, so that is on top, the uniform cross section of the slice of cheese is a sector whose angle is 18. So each angle here is 18. That's what they're telling you here. Everyone understands? So when you don't understand something and you can draw it, it's best you draw it so you can view it properly. Right? Calculate the length of an arc AB. So we know that length of an arc, let's use this, is divided. Oh, no, no, no. They did not say 8 equal slices. Why did I say 8? They said it is divided into slices. I said 8 centimeters. So we know that one slice was 18, right? Or 18 degrees is equals to one slice. So 1 degree would be 1 over 18. So a fraction of it is 1 over 18. So how many slice? Well, 1 degree would be 1 over 18. A circle, because that's what the cylinder is, a circle is 360, would be 1 over 18 multiplied by 360 over 1. This would tell you how many slices there are, which is 360 divided by 18 is 20. So we know it's 20 slices. So this was divided into 20 slices. I don't want to... it's divided into 20 slices, right? Calculate the length of an arc. They want AB. We know that length of an arc is equals to theta over 360 times the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r. Right, which is 18 over 360 multiplied by 2 over 1 multiplied by pi, which is 22 over 7 multiplied by 12 over 1. Alright, so let's put this in. 18 over 360 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by 12 is equal to, I'll put it as a fraction, 3 and 27 over 35 centimeters. Or if you want it, you could put 0.7 or 3.8 centimeters to one decimal place. Do you understand this, everyone? Right, so even if you don't know the formula, this is given in your formula sheet. Determine the area of the curved surface ABC. What shape is this, guys? ABCD. What shape is that? Uh, that's a square. That means all sides are equal. This is 3.8 and this is 8 centimeters, and this would be 3.8 and this is 8. This is a rectangle. Yes, correct. So area of ABCD is length times breadth, which would be 8 times 3.8, or 3 times 8 doesn't 3.8 times 8 doesn't matter. 8 times 3.8 is 30.4. So this would be 30.4 centimeters squared because it is area. Are we good so far? Good. Now let us look at this. They told you, and that is the last question. Did you guys think that this, so I'm not doing patrias yet, but do you think that this question was doable if you use your formula sheet? Yeah? So you just need to take your time and do it, right? And if you don't remember the formula, if you look at it and your mind go blank, all you just need to do is identify what shapes they're asking you. And usually they do tell you what is the shape, right? And then look in your formula sheet. Okay, what formula do I use to get the area of this or the length of that? How would I do it? Yeah? Now, given that the area of hold on, let's look at to see what is OAB. OAB, so they told you the area of this entire thing, the top here, sorry. The area here, OAB, that's this region, that's the top region, not the height or anything. They told you that that is 22.6. Calculate the volume of the entire block of cheese. So we found this out before, but we know that one slice is 22.6. So how many slices of cheese did we have? 20 slices. So the area of that entire circle would have been 22.6 times 20. 22.6 times 20, which is 452. Now, they told you the entire block of cheese, which is a cylinder. We know that volume of a cylinder is the volume, sorry, not the volume, the area of your cross section, which is area of your circle, area of the uniform cross section times your height, which would be 22.6 times a height of, what did they tell you? The height was 8 centimeters, I believe, yes. 22.6 times 8, 22, why am I saying 22.6? No, it is 452. That is the area of the circle, which is 452. 452 times 8, which is 3,616 centimeters squared, no, centimeters cubed because it's volume, would be your answer for this question. Do we think that this question was doable, guys? Let's May, June 2024. Number 6, the tell you part. So this is May, June 2024, number 6, paper 2. When we go into this, we need to remember the things that I mentioned before, which were that your parameters, your total distance around a region, starting from point A, we go right around, and you have to end up back at point A. Then your volume is the area of your cross section multiplied by your height, right? And if you don't remember your formulas, or if you're not able to remember your formulas, there is a list of formulas that they do give you in your formula sheet that's in the beginning of your past paper. So if you're not good at remembering formulas for this, utilize this, please. Right? Okay, so let's read this question. The diagram below shows a gold bar in the shape of a trapezoidal prism. Its volume is this, 2,886. The length and the height of the prism are indicated on the diagram. Calculate the area of the shaded cross-section, that is this region here. Right, so we know that volume of a prism would be area of your cross-section times your height. Now, if this is the cross-section, that means that your height is not this, because this here is part of this shape here, right? Because this is 8.72. Your height would be 31.2. Yes? Everybody understands that? So your cross section, what happens is that they kind of twist this and they put this flat on the surface. This is the face here that is on the surface and it's standing up. So your height is now 31.2. I think, right. So they told you, again, let's just do it one more time. They told you that the volume of this was 2,886. They want, I'm going to shade it over. They want this region right here. Right? Now, what do we know? This is 8.72. So this cannot be your length of your trapezoidal prism. Your length will not include the length, okay, so the length or the height of this prism will not include the length that is given for your area of your cross section. So when we had to find the area of your cross section, you would use 8.72. So immediately in your head, you'll be like, okay, I know for a fact that this here is not my height. My height or length of my prism will have to be the next one, which is 31.2. So what they did is they took this up and it looked something like this just now. So this was the base, and then it went up, up, right? This is how, excuse the drawing, but yeah, this is how it would look, right? Actually, I think one of the lines you're not seeing it, right? That line there, this line here. So it's standing up like this. It should look something like this, huh? But yeah, excuse my drawing. I'm trying to make it better, but it's just getting worse as I'm doing it, right? But it stood up, right? So where the base that it's standing on is this trapezium, right? And the top here is an next trapezium, so it's standing up, and the height of it is now going to be 31.3, 31.2. Sorry. Do you understand that now? Yeah? Alright. So my volume of my cross section would be the area of this times my length. So 2,886 is equal to the area of my cross section times 31.2. So therefore, area of my cross section would be volume divided by length. So volume is 2,886 and length is 31.2. So my area of my cross section is 92.5 when you divide it. And that is your answer for this one so far. Do we understand? Great. Now part 2. The cuboid-shaped gold bar shown below has the same volume. So this volume here, they're telling you that this here, the volume of this is 2,886. That's what they said, right? Calculate the height. So we know this is a formula that is not given in your formula sheet. But if you know the volume of a cuboid, or the volume of anything, it's the area of your cross section, which is length times breadth, that is this face, times your height. So if you're not 100% sure, just go with that. It is your face of your cuboid times the height of it. Right? So length times breadth times height, which is 30.6 times 8.2 times your height, we don't know. Right? So height would have been 30.6 by 8.2. I didn't multiply it out. Okay, so my height would be 2,886 divided by this to get my height, which is 11.50 centimeters. And that is your answer for this. Good so far? This one here. The trapezoidal gold bar is melted down and all the gold is used to make 6 identical spheres. Calculate each sphere of its gold. So we know that 6 spheres, if they use all that trapezoidal gold bar, we know that the 6 spheres would have 2,886 centimeters. Is it centimeters? Yeah, centimeters. Centimeters cube. Right? But how much are they telling you? They're asking you for each, which is 1. So 1 would be 288,000, sorry, 2,886 divided by 6. So 1 would be 481 centimeters cube. They're asking you find the radius. Now, even if you don't know the volume of a sphere, which is one of those that they did not give you, They gave you right here. Volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 times pi times r squared. So we know that the volume is 481 is equals to 4 over 3 times pi, which they told you in the beginning is 22 over 7, times r squared. Right? If I multiply, that's 88 over 21. So I will carry this across to make r the subject. Again, we go backwards from BOD mass. So is there subtraction? No. Is there addition? No. Is there multiplication? Yes. You're carrying that across, which turns to divide by. So 481 divided by 88 over 21 is r squared, right? Then I'm going to carry across this r, not squared, r cubed. If I carry across to the power of 3, what is the opposite of the power of 3, guys? Root 3. Cube root, right? So if I have r would be the cube root of the multiplication of 481 by 21 over 88. Put this in the calculator exactly how it is. Does everyone know how to get cube root on your calculator? Or do you need me? Yeah, okay. So cube root of 3, that would be, the cube root of this would be 4.86 centimeters. To two decimal places, my radius is going to be 4.9 centimeters to one decimal place. Again, they told you, to one decimal place, or if you put it into three significant figures, it will be 4.86 to three significant figures. And that is going to be your answer for this question. Do you understand this, guys? Anything here that you think you would get incorrect? Then they said part 3, the surface area of the sphere with radius r. We found out r to be 4.9. They told you the area is 4 pi r squared. So that's 4 by 22 over 7 by 4.86 squared or 4.9 squared. And you'll get your area of your sphere. And that is the answer for this question. That is May, June, is it? I feel like we have more. Okay, no, we have one more question. Yeah, we have one more question. Right, one more question. They give you the formula. Calculate the mass to the nearest kilogram. This is something that we have to remember. Everything here that we have been doing. Okay, I think I'm supposed to have something, but okay. So mass to the nearest kilogram, right? They told you that the density of your goal is 19.3. Look at the units. Grams per cm cube. So we know that this is in grams. So 19.3 is equals to mass over volume. We know that the volume of this, we're talking about one cylinder, because this is part 3 of it. Everything here we have been talking about for one. If you look at this head, calculate the for each sphere of gold, part 1, part 2, and then we have part 3 here. Yeah? So they have been talking about only one sphere, right? The mass is 481, so your volume is that. So your mass would be 19.3 multiplied by 481, which is 9,283.3 grams. However, they want it in the nearest kilogram. So you need to know that 1 kg is equals to 1,000 G's. So, or vice versa, right? So if I want to know number of kgs, it would be the total divided by 1 kg, right? So number of kgs will be a total, which is 9283.3 divided by how much is 1 kg in grams? 1,000. Shifted 1, 2, 3, so the answer would be 9.283.3. But they said to the nearest kilogram, so it would be 9 kgs. And that is your answer for this question. Do we understand this, guys? Right. January 2024, the diagram below shows a hemispherical bowl, which just means a sphere was cut in half, right? And a cylindrical tin. The diameter of the cylindrical tin is 12. The height is 17. The radius of the bowl is r. Show that the volume of the cylindrical tin is 1923. Correct the four significant figures. Now, if we don't know, it is in your formula sheet. Volume of a tin is pi r squared by height. Or if you don't want to use the formula sheet, volume of a cylinder, the cross section, uniform cross section is that circle. Volume of a circle is pi r squared, and your height is 17. So it's pi r squared, which is the volume of your uniform cross section, by your height. Alright? Pi is 22 over 7. Radius is diameter is 12, so your radius would be half of that, which is 6. So volume would be 22 over 7 by 6 squared by 17, which is your height. Put that in your calculator, you'll get 1923.42857. They wanted the four significant figures. You count the first digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first non-zero digit, which is 1. 9 is the second, 2 is the third, 3 is your fourth. You draw a line. Number after a line that you draw is to the right hand side of your line is less than 5, so you don't add 1. So the answer would be, so they told you it's 1923. You just need to show that. Are we good so far, guys? Pretty straightforward, right? Let's go part 2. The bowl is completely filled with soup. When all the soup is poured into the empty cylindrical tin, 90% of the volume of a tin is filled. So we know that volume of your bowl is going to be 90% of your tin, right? So volume of your bowl would be 90 over 100 times the volume. I'm going to use the exact value and not the value I have here. Put it in fractions, which is 1923 and 3/7. Right? That would be my volume of my bowl, which would be 1731 centimeters cube. Uh-huh. Doesn't matter. If you use this value, you might just get like a decimal place off. You wouldn't get something way off. Yeah? So it really doesn't matter. I just like to use the exact value, but however, if you use 1923, your answer might be like about 0.05 above or minus. So it'll be either zero point 0.5 more than my answer or zero point 0.5 less than my answer. Just depends. Right? So it wouldn't really, and you would still get the answer correct. Didn't tell you exactly to find use the exact values. They didn't give you that. Right? So you can use the approximated answer to get this. Right? So the volume of your sphere. Now, we know that this is a hemisphere, right? Which is a half of a sphere. So if half of it is 1731, then your whole sphere would be 1731 multiplied by 2, which is 3462 centimeters cube. Now, they told you that the volume of this sphere is V is equals to 4/3 pi r cube. So V would be 3462 by 4 over 3 by 22 over 7 by your radius, which is r. We want to calculate r. So again, we go backwards from BOD mass. Is there subtraction? No. Is there addition? No. Is there multiplication? We multiply 44 by 2 and 2 and 7 by 3. And when you multiply that, you'll get 4 and 4 over 21. I just use my calculator, right? Multiply by r cubed. So now you're going to carry across that multiply by. So it will be 3462 divided by 4 and 4 over 21, which is 826, and 7 over 44 is equals to r cubed. You carry across to the power of 3, which is root 3. So root 3 of this answer would be 9.38 or 9.4 to 1 decimal place. And that is your answer for this. Do you understand this, guys? guys? Everybody good? Okay. Let's hold on. Is there more? Should be more. Oh, that's what I want to know. In the diagram below, L, M, N are on the circumference of the semicircle with a center O and a radius of 18. So we know from the center to one side is 18. So from O to M is 18, O to N is 18, O to L is 18. Right? Calculate the total area of the shaded region. As this here. We know that that shaded region would be the difference of your semicircle and your triangle. So you find the area of your semicircle, and then you find the area of your triangle, and you subtract it, and you should get your answer. Right? So area of the shaded region would be area of your semicircle minus the area of your two triangles. Right? Area of a triangle is base by height by over 2. Your base is 18 by 18 is 36, and your height is 18. So 36 by 18 divided by 2 is 324. So that's the area of your triangle. Area of your semicircle. Semicircle means half of a circle, which is a half pi r squared. A half by 22 over 7 by r squared, which is 18 squared. You'll get 509 and 1 over 7. So the area of your shaded region, you subtract that, you'll get 1,000, not 1,000, 185 and 1 over 7 centimeters cubed. If they ask you for, yeah, or you could put it to decimal places and put it to one decimal place and you'll get your answer. And that would be correct. Everybody good so far? Do we understand this? So in the question below, this is May, June 2023. In the question below, pi is 22 over 7. Volume of a cone with radius r, height h. So volume is a third pi r squared by h. As soon as we know that volume of a cone is a third by area of your base, which is a circle, which is pi r squared by height. That's how you get your formula, right? The diagram below shows a sector OMRN of a circle with center O. Radius is 12 and the sector is 160. Calculate the perimeter of your sector above. Now we know that perimeter is what? Distance around. So if I start at M, I have to go right around and end up back at M. So I know that my perimeter of your sector would be length of your arc plus the 2 radius or 2 radii. Yeah? So my length of my arc is theta over 360 times um, the circumference of a circle, which is 2 pi r. Right? When you do this, you're going to get 35.2 is the length of your arc. Then the perimeter of your sector would be 35.2 plus 12, which is 59.2. And that would be your perimeter of your sector. Do you understand that, guys? So we're understanding a little bit better now how you would get this, right? Now, we need to understand that they said the cone is made from the sector. So they took the sector, this is the top of the cone, and they made a circle. So the length of your arc is now the circumference of your circle. Okay? The cone is made from the sector A by joining ON and OM, as shown below. So from this, if we look above, OM and ON is 12, so this is 12. We know that the circle is, what was the area of the circle? The area of your length of your arc was 35.2. Your radius is going to be 5.6. Hold on, no, before I answer that. What is the radius of a cone? You know that um, the circumference of that circle was 35.2. Right? That's what we know. That's from this here, right? So 35.2 is equal to 2 by 22 over 7 by radius. You make r the subject, so r would be 35.2 divided by 44 over 7, which is 56, and that would be your answer for radius. Do you understand this? Do we understand how to make these things the subject? Or are we confused? Remember, always go backwards from bad mass, right? The height of the cone. Now, if you look at this, and they told you it's a 90 degrees, we know that this is a right angle triangle. We know that they want the height. The hypotenuse is 12. And side is 5.6. So 5.6 squared plus 8 squared is 12 squared. That's what we know. Right? So if I want my height squared or b squared to be the subject, 5.6 squared, you carry that across, that will turn to 144 minus 31.36. So, and then you carry across squared, the opposite of squared, or to the power 2 square root. The square root of 112.64 is 10.6. So my height is 10.6 centimeters to three significant figures. So calculate the capacity of the cone in liters. Right, so we know this is our next thing that, so Sophia, write this down. 1 liter is 1,000 centimeters cubed, right? That's something that you have to remember. Volume of the cone is a third by pi r squared by h. We know the height is 10.6. You know, r is 5.6. So it's a third by 22 over 7 by 5.6 squared by 10.6. You'll get 348.2 centimeters square cube. You want to know how much liters is that? So number of liters, I would say number of liters is going to be total over um 1 liter slash 1,000 centimeters cubed, right? Which would be 348.2 divided by 1 liter, 1,000 centimeters cubed, which is 1,000. Shifted 3 places, 1, 2, 3. That is how I got 0.348 liters to three significant figures, or 0.35 liters to two decimal places. Or if you put in it to one decimal place, it'll be 0.3 liters to one decimal place, and that's the answer. Do we understand May, June 2023, guys? So that would be the end of this